Hello, I'm Caitlyn, and welcome to Metro Micro News 1. And today, we are going to talk about Norovirus. Norovirus is a common virus that is not related to the flu. Norovirus is the most common cause of vomiting, diarrhea, and foodborne illness. Norovirus causes inflammation of the stomach or the intestines. This is called acute gastroenteritis. Norovirus can be found in your vomit or feces even before you start feeling sick. Norovirus is an infection that is usually diagnosed based on your symptoms, but noroviruses can be identified from a stool sample. If you have a weakened immune system or have other medical conditions, your healthcare provider might recommend a stool test to confirm the presence of norovirus. You can prevent norovirus by washing your hands thoroughly with soap and water, according to the CDC. Let's talk to Mary to learn what those symptoms are. Mary?
Hello, I am Mary. I am here to tell you the symptoms of norovirus. First, we have diarrhea, then comes the stomach pain, which leads to vomiting and nausea. Norovirus begins in the gastrointestinal system, but dehydration, headaches, and loss of electrolytes can lead to pain in the limbs and general achiness. The virus can also stay in your feces for 2 or more weeks after you feel better. It is important to continue washing your hands often during this time. You will have symptoms for 1 to 3 days. If you want to know how it is treated, you are out of luck because there are no specific medicine to treat people with the norovirus illness. But you are in luck because you most likely won't die unless you drink plenty of liquids to replace fluid loss from vomiting and diarrhea. Did you know that the virus lives in your feces and vomit for weeks after your symptoms end? Back to you, Caitlyn.
Thank you, Mary. Now, you might be asking yourself, how can I get infected with the norovirus? It's simple. You can get it from fecal-oral route of transmission, which is when you eat someone else's feces. You can also get it by sharing utensils with somebody who is sick, or eating or drinking contaminated food or beverage. Now, let's talk to Sydney Panetta, who is going to share with us the science behind norovirus and what the virus looks like. Sid is a science kid. Sid is a science kid. Sid is a science kid. Sid is the science kid. Whoa!
Thank you, Caitlin, for that wonderful introduction. I am scientist Sydney Panetta, and this is what the norovirus looks like. Noroviruses are non-envelope, positive-sense, single-stranded RNA. They belong to the Calciviridae viral family. They are also icosahedral capsid shaped. Back to you, Caitlin.
Thank you, Sydney. Now, let's dive into the economic effect of norovirus. It can be a significant economic drain to societies where outbreaks of the virus are frequent. The U.S. monitors foodborne illnesses and provides detailed data about the virus's outcomes and estimates that the cost of norovirus in the U.S. is 5 times as deadly and 8 times as costly as E. coli bacteria. E. coli is another foodborne illness that affects raw lettuce and raw ground beef. Norovirus is responsible for an estimated 21 million cases of gastrointestinal illness in the United States each year. If you look at this map of the United States, you can see that California, Minnesota, and Florida are the most affected. During my research for norovirus, I discovered there was an outbreak in Vermont, and I decided to go on the scene and interview the people that were personally affected by the norovirus outbreak. Enjoy. Hello. My first interview is with Chad Carpenter, whose daughter was first reported sick. Chad, tell us your daughter's story.
On the morning of February 5th, I took my daughter, who was 5, to the emergency room because she had become ill with vomiting and diarrhea within 12 hours of other neighborhood kids having the same symptoms. My little Sally initially complained of nausea around 10 a.m. on Monday, February 2nd. The nausea was followed by vomiting and multiple episodes of diarrhea. She was unable to eat or drink anything without vomiting. Towards the evening, Sally became listless. I took my little angel's temperature and she had a fever, so I took her to the doctor's where stool and blood specimens were collected and she was treated with intravenous fluids and then released.
Interesting. Did the kids often play together?
The 3 children didn't know each other, but they did attend Rebecca Smith's brat Tommy's birthday party on the morning of Sunday, February 1st.
Interesting. Do you know what your daughter was infected with?
I Googled my little Sally symptoms and Google told me it was salmonella. I had heard that Rebecca had made homemade ice cream and it contained raw eggs. Hasn't she heard of salmonella? I made sure my precious Sally didn't have any, but I bet Tommy made her eat it.
Wow. Now we will be talking to Rebecca Smith, the mother who threw the party. Rebecca, did your son get ill from the party?
No. Tommy is well except for a cold. Other parents did call me saying that their children had become ill with vomiting and diarrhea.
Where did your son's party take place?
My son's birthday party took place at a private indoor swim club in Essex, Vermont, close to Burlington.
How many people attended the party and how old were the children?
Approximately 30 children and adults were there. The children were 5 to 10 years old. The kids weren't from the same school, though.
Interesting. Your son must have a lot of friends. Rebecca, sources tell me that you put raw eggs in the homemade ice cream. Is that true?
No! I did not put raw eggs in my ice cream. Who told you that? Was it Chad? Was it Chad? He always spreads rumors about me. Just because I beat his wife in the PTA election doesn't mean he can ruin my life!
I guess that is all for this interview. After days of trying to reach Mr. Malone, we finally got to speak to him. And he is late. Mr. Malone, did you know about the illnesses that were reported on a birthday party on February 1st?
No. I received reports of illness among other people who used the pool during that day, or that weekend, whatever it was. I have rumors are circulating that participants in the infant mother swim class that last met on Saturday, January 31st were sick with the stomach flu.
Vermont Department health investigators believe that a lack of pool staff training, inadequate record keeping, and lack of standard operating procedures contributed to the outbreak. Consequently, VDH investigators recommended that all pool staff at the club be trained in water testing and basic pool maintenance, and that the pool operator remain on site to be readily available for consultation during weekends, when pool usage was usually at its highest. Investigators also recommended that the club keep records of routine pool chemistries and pool maintenance. In addition, investigators recommended that the swim club develop written standard operating procedures and emergency response plans detailing how water activity and quality complaints should be handled. The correct response and lines of communication to the pool operator. In particular, VDH investigators recommended the development of a fecal incident response policy. And after discovering this, the pool manager, Bob Malone, has this message to share with the viewers.
I apologize to everyone that got infected with the norovirus. VDH investigators helped me and pool operator John develop a written policy for responding to fecal incidents. As part of the policy, staff were to document each fecal incident by recording the date and time of the event, whether it involved a formed or diarrheal stool, and the free chlorine levels and pH at the time of the event was detected. We distributed the fecal incident response policy to all swim club staff and held special classes to review the approach to a fecal incident. New staff members received the policy and viewed a short video about the steps necessary to respond to a fecal incident. After the investigation, members of the private swim club voiced concern about the adequacy of actions taken to prevent further waterborne outbreaks at the club. I asked VDH staff to meet with interested club members. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Malone. Now that we have learned a real-life example, what the virus is and what it looks like, the symptoms, and how it affects our society, we are now going to learn how this virus was discovered. On to you, Chloe, our resident historian.
Thank you, Caitlin. The first of the now called norovirus outbreaks occurred in 1968 among school children in Norwalk, Ohio. It was originally called the Norwalk virus after where the first outbreak was. It was the first virus identified that specifically caused gastroenteritis in humans. Other discoveries followed as the virus mutated, and each new strand was named based on the location of its discovery. A study published in 1977 found that the Toronto virus was the second most common cause of gastroenteritis in children. Eventually, this confusing name was changed, first in favor of calling each of the strands a Norwalk-like virus, and then simply a norovirus, the term used today. Back to you, Caitlin.
Thank you, Chloe. That is all we have time for today on this episode of Metro Micro News. I hope you enjoyed today's show and learned something about norovirus. I'll see you next time. Have a good day.